a lot of people who are planning on coming to the UK and some who are already in the UK, they're still wondering and they're still not understanding the recent breaking news we've had from the UK government, where it was planning on banning some dependents of people who are on healthcare visas, particularly the care visas, to bring over the dependents to come to the UK. So lots of people were still wondering and were still not understanding, because I still have some questions from other people concerning the same subject. So in this video, I'm going to explain in detail what the news that we've just received mean for you if you're already in the UK or if you're planning on coming to the UK. So first of all, let's just go over how the news was. So the news was focusing more on people who are on care visas and those who are on skilled worker visas. So here's the thing. The first plan that the government was planning on to introduce was that it was going to ban people who are particularly on care visas, because I've heard people on other visas of healthcare visas, for example, nurses, doctors. These people are not going to be affected by this recent proposal that the government is planning on introducing. So it only affects those who are coming on care visas. Most people are asking and wondering, why is that? Well, the government announced that they are actually trying to curb or trying to put a stop to the abuses by the care visa holders. Well, the Home Secretary kept on emphasizing on the point that they need to stop abuses, and then they also need to put down the immigration that's coming into the country. So what sort of abuses? People may not be understanding why, but upon the consultation that were done before they actually came up with these proposals, it was brought to their attention as the Home Office that people were actually abusing the care visas. Rather, they were abusing the care visas by having some, I would say, illegal or some marriages that were just meant to bring one another to the UK. I'm sure most of people are familiar or have heard of all these new tricks that people have been trying to cheat the system by getting married to one another and then bring each other a spouse. So this is one of the abuses that the government has been mentioning, that it wants to put an end to that. So by banning all the spouses of those who are coming on care visas, it's actually trying to put an end to that sort of abuse. Secondly, they kept mentioning that the reason also why they've actually also stopped the children as well, because dependents also include children and or your spouse, is because they mentioned that most people are bringing over children, and it's been noticed and brought to the government's attention that most people, or I would say 75% according to their statistics, were not working. So as a result, only 25% of those dependents coming in, including the children, are only contributing to the economy. So this is the reason why they're putting an end as well for people to bring over their children, because they're saying it's going to put more pressure on some public health services as well. So this is the reasons why they said we are going to only stop dependents for care visas. So it's not healthcare as a whole. It's only affecting those people who are already in the UK and planning on bringing their children or spouse. Right. Let's move on to the second one. This was also something that most people misinterpreted. People were asking about when is it going to be implemented, or some people were actually spreading lies that this has already been implemented. Well, to put the confusion to rest, well, this has not been implemented. This was just a proposal that the Home Secretary was putting forward to the government in Parliament to say These are the plans they are going to put in motion, provided they are approved, and this will be implemented in spring of next year. So spring starts next year around March, April. That's when spring starts, which means you still have got some 3 months if you've got your spouse, if you've got your children that you've got to bring if you are on care visas. Right. So those who are planning on coming to the UK already, you can also bring your spouses, you can also bring your dependents as a whole. We're talking of children as well, up until the time this is going to be implemented. So this has not been implemented yet. So you still have got time until they actually come to implement that. The second plan that the government put forward was something to do with skilled worker visas. So this is not directed to those who are on healthcare visas. Those who are coming on skilled worker visas, the government is saying they're going to increase the threshold up to £37,500 per year. So what does it mean? Well, the most of the questions that we're getting is that, does this affect those who are on healthcare? No, it doesn't affect those who are on healthcare visa, because the Home Secretary clearly said that they are going to be exempted from this. So what it means, those who are coming on skilled worker visas, you can no longer come if they're going to implement this if your job is going to pay you less than 37,500 per year, meaning to say 37,000 quid you've got to be paid per year annually in order for your job to be eligible for you to come to the UK. So if your job is not paying you that much, then you can no longer come to the UK, unfortunately. So how does this impact on immigration? Well, according to the plan, this is going to put off most employers by actually being discouraged not to employ people if they can find some locally who can actually fill in the gaps at a cheaper cost, meaning to say, if they can get an employee in IT or an accountant, they can pay for 30,000 or 32,000 in the UK. They're not going to be bothered to look for someone outside the UK for £37,500 a year. So this is going to also bring the numbers of immigration down. The other plan that the government was introducing as well is also planning to introduce was that it's going also to need those who are already UK citizens, because most people are not understanding this. This only applies to those who are UK citizens, that they can only bring over their dependents only if they prove to the government that they can be able to actually sustain, to maintain them when they come over. So the government will be looking at a certain amount of money that you should be earning per year so you can bring over your dependents. So these apply for only those who are already UK citizens, not to everyone who is on sponsored visas. So the reason why the government has come up with this 5-point plan, most people are not understanding why. The government is still interested in bringing people over to the UK, but as we go towards the elections, the Prime Minister has promised the people of the UK, he has promised the English people that he was going to put down the numbers of legal immigration as well as illegal immigration. So these measures are only meant to try and achieve those goals, because he promised the people, in order for him to get voted for in the next election, he has to deliver those promises. So he promised the people that he was going to bring down the numbers of immigrants coming to the country, because it had become a concern to the British people. So as a result, These measures are actually meant to bring down the volumes of people coming into the UK in 2024. If you are looking for jobs to come to the UK for, you need to follow me and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I constantly post jobs with visa sponsorships which can help you as well to come to the UK. So there is no need to panic, because like I said, it's not been implemented yet. And the other thing I can tell you is that there's been a number of players who are already advocating to try and vote against that decision. So we have people in the healthcare sector with the NHS, we've got those in the care sector. All these people and interested parties, they're actually already fighting against that decision before it's actually implemented. So we may still see some changes before it actually gets to come to be implemented. I look forward to seeing you soon if you come to the UK. Follow me if you are in the UK as well, as I also post some tips that you may need and may help you to settle in the UK. Thank you. Right. I think I got it, Miss Andy.